The season began against the Sydney Swans at ANZ Stadium and St Kilda was spectacular. 9 straight goals in the first half without a blemish.
Geary gets it out, bangs it, Revolt low down. Gee, just about a free kick for in the back there. Kazitsky, Del Santo, number 5 to St Kilda.
Jones's kick, a nightmare for the forwards. Snyder likes it better when it's on the ground, and that's where it was when he collected. Low ball, not what. Oh, fell in the lap of Revolt. He won't get many easier than that.
Sit back there and beyond, and Goddard. Oh, that was a strong effort, and he got rid of the man who needed to be on his feet holding him. A good placement, setting it up for Peak. It's 2 on 2. Kennelly closes, clever kick from Peak, and it does the job.
Now with the next turnover, it meant there were 3 men for St Kilda, and dangerously one of them was Revolt. Grundy did really well then, stuck to his guns, but he might be hurting yet as Revolt summed it up. No margin for error. Magnificent goal. It's his 3rd. Montagna up to Revolt, who takes the mark, and it's St Kilda's turn to pierce through the defence.
Geary.
And it's Jaron Geary who can take the mark. 15 games last year, but was not used in the finals. Wearing Luke Ball's old number. Jaron Geary's kick is safely through. Revolt, some reinforcements arrive. Armitage, Baker, back to Revolt. Just kicks it to the top to 2 one-on-ones. Kazitsky and Roberts-Thompson. McWalter, quick thinking, great result.
Up by 20 points at the last break, the Saints would have to survive a torrid Sydney fightback. Survive they did, to win by 8 points.
50 metres, oh no, 50 metres. Goddard took the mark.
So it's Brendan Goddard to take it out to 15 points, and he makes absolutely no mistake.
Nick Riewoldt with 4 goals was best of field and would earn 3 Brownlow votes for his part in the win. Another brilliant start against North Melbourne in round 2 at the Dome would set up a massive win. The Saints booted the first 8 goals and did so without any contribution on the board from Nick Riewoldt.
And a free kick going to Geary. And it's beautifully worked inside 50 by the Saints. Brendan Goddard loves a goal. And it's the Saints by 4. Big fist came from Grimer. Front and centre was McWalter. Back to McAvoy. Centering kicks a beauty to Armitage. He goes back to the wing and spots up Goddard.
Still the Saints with just 2 goals for the quarter, and that wasn't a good entry. Now it's better though. Peak, who kicked 2 goals in the opening term, has become the goal-kicking star.
To McWalter, to Goddard. Here's Milne. Really twist and turn Ferrito inside out. He hangs onto the left. He looks for Revolt. Beautiful pick-up on the half volley. Handballs to Montagna, who snaps it. Goal. And it's showtime already for St Kilda. He gave it up, and that was good play by Dawson on the wing, as Malcolm Blight alluded to. Got it to Geary, to McWalter. Back inside to Revolt. He won't handball this time. He'll just kick the goal. Now to Jones. Has a bit of a run. Couple of bounces. Long ball, Revolt! Oh, what a play! What a mark!
Came from the
Courage
side.
personified.
A lot of discussion about Jonathan Brown, Wayne Carey, and Nick Revolt's got to be part of that group.
He's kicked for Revolt.
The skipper would make his mark, however. As the Saints marched on, he'd kick 7 from 23 possessions and 15 marks. Vintage footy from the Saints superstar. Clint Jones blanketed Brent Harvey to the extent that the Roos skipper would finish with just 5 touches. The Saints would end the match much the same way as they started, by kicking 7 of the last 8 goals.
McWalter. Oh, Revolt again. Another one. 7. A 104-point thrashing. Revolt with his 7 picking up another 3 Brownlow votes. Goddard would pick up 2. Del Santo 1. The match against Collingwood was hard, tough and physical. It would be one of the most talked about matches of the season. If the quarter-time stoush wasn't enough, there was more to come.
Haven't seen a lot of Midhurst so far. Terrific attack by Del Santo, Geary, and then back to Del Santo, to Gwilt, to Goddard, and Goddard doesn't miss.
Against Lockyer and Didion. Geary on the overlap to half forward, trying to knock it on. Revolt, and that hurt. Cocked the knee in the back now. Revolt.
The moment every St Kilda fan feared. Nick Revolt down and seemingly out. The skipper left the game in the dying seconds of the first half after falling to the ground, grimacing in pain and clutching his right hamstring in a marking contest. Little did anyone realise that he would be sidelined for months on end.
And running it home, and they're back in front.
Forward of right half back, goes down towards half forward. King needs to mark it.
Terrific mark.
Side bottom, smothered off the boot. Pendlebury, hand passes across to Wellingham. Touch ball, McCarthy, no way through. Hand pass comes to Del Santo from King. Gives it across to Schneider, and Schneider gets a goal.
With Riewoldt out, St Kilda went about the challenge of defeating Collingwood. The Pies held a 3-point lead at the main break, but failed to register a major in the second half as their diabolical kicking for goal robbed them of any chance.
Arches his back and then goes from 50 and kicks a beauty.
In effect, it's almost the perfect fall for Nick Revolt.
Well, it's a great story. Milne gets a hand pass away. Graham just waited for the cavalry to descend on them. Montagna gets a goal.
Sam Gilbert had 32 disposals, Jason Graham was prominent with 29, Stephen Baker outstanding with 28, while Fisher came back from a heavy knock to finish the game with 28 as well. Two undefeated sides. The Saints trying to come to terms with the loss of their inspirational leader against a Fremantle side already being touted as the best to come out of the West. It would be a thriller with scores tight throughout.
St Kilda's Armbridge.
Snyder looks really dangerous on Hayden. He's running away from the ball at the moment, but I'm not sure Hayden's got the pace to go with him.
Wilt with a beautiful kick, and Goddard plucks a one-hander.
That's it.
Only has to beat the man on the mark, and he does. Nails the third goal. They have indeed. You can feel it. You can see it. Hazelby. Del Santo stripped them all. Grabs it, turns around, fronts the goal, and just puts it on the boot. Successive goals for the Saints. As Milne takes it away, he sees Montagna in the open. Only Tarrant between him and the goals. Gives it to Goddard. Goddard for his third goal with a low ball. Something out of nothing, the Saints. Hayes. Milne up forward. Soccer off the ground, comes back to Dawson, clean hands, got it to Goddard. Goddard will run into the open goal and kick his fifth. Ray goes inside, looking for Milne.
Too smart.
Wants to body Duffield, takes him to the boundary line, the end over end ball, the miraculous goal. Milne's kick, one of his best. Milne over the top to Snyder. Snyder runs inside 50, 45, 40, 35, closing. Snyder puts the nail in the coffin.
4 unanswered goals to begin the fourth quarter finally burst the game open for the Saints. Brendan Goddard booted 5, as did Stephen Milne. Nick Del Santo would take the 3 Brownlow votes. The 4-match unbeaten run would come to an end at Amy Stadium in Adelaide against the Power. In a low-scoring slog, Schneider would kick 3 of St Kilda's 6 goals.
Kazitsky, who's just come back on, sweeps the handball to Blake. He goes short. Over the top. Here's an opportunity for the Saints. Geary into the goal square, and Schneider will kick an easy one.
St Kilda dangerous now. They're storming forward. Eddie chose the right option in Fisher. As a forward last week, didn't do a lot. He might kick a goal here from outside 50. He sinks it. The Saints have their third. That was a good contribution. Jones, Montagna, Goddard felt the heat coming and did it beautifully to Schneider. He goes for the unguarded goal, and he got the perfect bounce for his third.
Third man up was Goddard. Here's Montagna. Punched out the handball to Kazitsky to Gwilt on his right side, which is his left. Floats it, and it's actually a goal.
The highlight of a forgettable Saturday night was provided by Stevie Milne. Who else?
Direction, Milne. Oh, that was clever.
century.
A 10-point loss, Gilbert, Montagna and Schneider the best. St Kilda came from the heavens to consign the Western Bulldogs to hell in a heart-stopper at the Dome in round 6. The match had all the hallmarks of the 2009 preliminary final between these two old rivals, with both teams applying relentless pressure around the ground and showing their desperation at the contest.
Siracusa, loose ball, Gardner, 20 metres up, lays it off, and the snap goal comes from young Stephen. Schneider found a way through, kicks inside the forward 50, 2-on-1. Morris got it on the ground, the one, feisty, dragged down, got out a sweeping hand pass, running up the ground is Armitage, and he's kicked a goal.
Down by 17 points at three-quarter time, the Saints kicked 3 unanswered goals in the last quarter to win by a kick.
McWalter, inside the forward 50 to Milne. Milne along the ground, gets it to go through. Comes out wide, Kazitsky's marked 60 metres from goal, looks back towards the middle, Goddard is headed down towards the square, Milne will fly from behind, big pack, off hands, hacked out of mid-air by Armitage. 3 points the difference.
Certainly not a match-winning lead.
Hudson, Schneider, Fisher, an unlikely goal scorer, he puts them in front, Sam Fisher.
Lenny Hayes amassing 35 possessions, he was supported brilliantly by Lee Montagna and Nick Del Santo. Carlton had lost 12 straight to St Kilda going into the round 7 match at Etihad Stadium, and few expected the game that would unfold.
Thornton put under pressure by the hand pass from Simpson. Tidying up is Scotland. Russell once more. Houlihan with plenty of time. Short one is on from Armfield. Closing was Graham. They will pay the price.
Down by 5 goals at half-time, the Saints had the worst possible start to the third term when Carlton kicked 2 goals within 2 minutes, both of which came from 50-metre penalties.
Still he goes, gets away into Mines, thinks of the vacant goal square and puts it through.
Farron Ray provided the drive from half-back, and Brendan Goddard was one of the few Saints to hold his head high.
Pocket check side. Oh, he's kicked it from nowhere.
The 61-point losing margin was St Kilda's worst since 2008 and the first against the Blues since 2001. The bad news continued the following week when the St Kilda faithful returned to the Dome for the match against Essendon. The Saints, who lost just twice during last year's home and away season, including that match against Essendon, which ended the 19-game streak, had now lost 3 of their last 4.
For his confidence, a ripping kick. It's a little left to right tail on the end, and it's got the journey. Cozzie's got the goal he was after, surely. It is all clear, and the Saints get the first.
I think Clint Jones heard what Rowan Smith said about him going forward, but he couldn't get the job done.
Back into play, been stolen by Milne, and this is the guy that doesn't miss.
Paddy Ryder getting off the ground, the rucks. It's the second time he's come backwards to Joe Watson. Unfortunately, Joe couldn't hang on to the ball.
Back in front, Cozzy. Hawker. And Cozzy, it looked as if Fletcher had it covered from the rear end. There's an opportunity for the Saints to work it forward again. Nice mark, wasn't it? Jones used the body well. Gave it to the runner Hayes, who can straighten up. Hammers it home from 50. Oh. There's the 2 for the Saints. Need a goal out of this thrust. Blake to the run of Gilbert. Gilbert over the top. Opportunity goes inside 50. McWalter marks from the Hayes kick. McWalter to get it back to a 7-point margin. Comes in, steps to the line. No fuss, McWalter.
St Kilda had plenty of chances in the final term. They kicked 4 goals and could have scored more. Hayes brilliant, Gardner and Cozzy 3 goals each in a 12-point defeat. The trip west is never easy. nor would it be in 2010. After the losses to Carlton and Essendon, the Saints found themselves in trouble as they faced the supercharged Eagles at Subiaco.
And Milne does now. Can't believe that. Milne's able to bend it around. No one bothering to get to the side of him. Players absolutely having a crack in there at the moment. Here's Fisher. Goddard's always dangerous in open space. He'll go for home. What? The skidding long ball is on target. Goddard. Rafael Clark did well.
He did really well.
Really good effort from Rafael Clark. Something that perhaps people have accused him of missing in his game. That was impressive.
Only they're getting some run out of defence, BT. He's been missing most of the day.
Jones just trying to be a bit cute. Milne with that evasive footwork. It was nice. Gilbert high ball. Snyder at the back. Works his man under the ball brilliantly. Snyder did well. Left foot kick around the corner.
Long to the square and try and catch West Coast defenders under pressure.
They're under enormous pressure. Here's Hayes.
There he is again.
Left foot dribble along the ground. How good is that?
Enter Lenny Hayes with a 3-vote performance. His 10 third-quarter possessions swinging the game back St Kilda's way.
Can go the long shot at goal to finish it off on his former home ground. Gardner kicks the goal.
Well, this time they put Lacroix in for a centre bounce, but Del Santo has been one of their finest.
Good kick, and that's the way to mark the ball out in front. Stanley did then, and Del Santo, the finisher from 50. That's just lovely, isn't it?
That's brilliant.
St Kilda would kick 9 of the last 10 goals. Hayes with 35 possessions, easily the best on ground. Milne with 3 goals, Schneider and McAvoy 2 each in a 35-point win. Three tight quarters gave the 28,000 at the Dome plenty to think about as St Kilda hosted Adelaide at Etihad in round 10. Lee Montagna getting his side away to a brilliant start with 3 of his 5 goals coming in the first term.
At Etihad Stadium, Jones, and now Montagna. Mr. Inside 50, looks up, Scott Kosicki, he can go longer to Stanley, who's feeding back to the square, just go all the way himself. And shepherding the man on the mark as well if we can. Short little throw in. Del Santo, he could go for goal from there. 48 out, spears it towards goal. Awesome.
In the second, it would be Nick Del Santo's turn. The Saints couldn't shake the dogged Crows for 3 quarters, but booted the first 5 goals of the last term to gallop away to a 47-point win.
Little fumble in by Del Santo, good finisher to give it to. They needed that. They need a marking target. Goddard would have done. Milne another fumble. Extracts a kick, it's a tumbler. It's a little bit of rolled gold for Stephen Milne. Ugly bounce, Gardner beautifully down to Del Santo. Thumps a 70-metre monster inside 50. Kosicki, he was dropped, Kosicki, no free. Milne swoops, that's his bread and butter.
Opponent stop him marking over the top of Van Berlo.
Kosicki got hands to it, couldn't mark it. Schneider gives it up. Montagna starting a blaze of glory. Might finish in one. Sends a low ball wide. Stanley manhandled half before he got it and half when he got it. Schneider took Wilt to seal the deal. If it bounces through, she's over. Good night. The whole team, Wilt runs into a tackle. Peaks back. Speaking of sparking them, Montagna heads toward goal. He floats it through. That's number 5.
Montagna winning 3 Brownlow votes, he was brilliant. Nick Del Santo and Lenny Hayes dominant, Sam Gilbert and Sam Fisher efficient down back.
Gee, Goddard, that's a beautiful kick. We expect no less from him, though, to McWalter. Kicked a couple last week, McWalter. He's been a fine defensive forward over the last season. Most of his goals this year have been on the run. He's kicked 3-2 from set shot. Gee, struck that well. He likes that.
St Kilda notched up its 3rd consecutive win with a 38-point victory over Richmond at Etihad Stadium. Stephen Milne was the star up forward for St Kilda. He missed his first 3 scoring shots, but got his first major with a signature dribbling goal from the pocket in the 3rd quarter.
Comes again to Ray, the boy from Peel Thunder. grew up barracking for the West Coast Eagles. His hero was Ben Cousins. It goes down towards the pocket. Gathered by Milne. Sneaky!
His second of the night and 400th of his career came 90 seconds later.
With a primary kick to Milne. 400 coming up. Yep, he joins the club.
Milne finished with 5-5 and had a hand in 6 others, acting as the main focal point for a side that's starting to learn to operate without the injured Nick Riewoldt.
It's in the wrong hands, I'd suggest. Couldn't have picked 2 worse hands had he tried.
Good courage to get back to the middle again.
Yeah, Martin, but gets it away. Gilbert to the run of Clark. He's about 70 metres from goal. Clark, ill-directed kick. Well, the man in front just jumped first field. It spills behind, and he's done it again.
In short to McWalter. McWalter's got Milne. He'll get a half a dozen. Now, what will he do here, Stilby? Oh, he's going to go back and have a shot. No, he's not. Handball over the top. He'll give Peaky second. There you go.
Goddard finished with a career-high 38 disposals, and his no-nonsense approach was critical to the Saints in their few moments of vulnerability. The Saints reaching the mid-season mark at 8-3 and recording a 12th straight win over Richmond. Milne with 5, Goddard getting the 3 Brownlow votes. In game number 200, Stephen Milne reminded everyone why he is one of football's most dangerous small forwards. Against Fremantle, he was at his most elusive and most dangerous, kicking 4 first-half goals against a team that fancied themselves as top 4 material.
From 70 out, low ball, Milne, dangerous possession, takes the mark. And may even run around, he will. Stephen Milne on the left has kicked the goal. Clinton Jones hoists the ball high, allows Milne to turn his man around, which he is so good at. Van Berlo won't catch him. Milne a couple of bounces, running to goal. Tarrant comes at him, kick around the corner, goal.
And he's dropping behind, so...
There's Del Santo. Through the pack, Milne. On the bounce, he loves these. Around the corner, he's bending enough. Milne's kicked 4. They still box on at centre-half forward. Hayes shot at goal. Cossey's got the set. Over the top of Grover. Kaczynski.
Halfway through the third term, St Kilda was 6 goals up and coasting. Goddard was superb, winning 20 of his 33 possessions as a loose defender in the first half, and then moving into the midfield to have an impact at the stoppages in the second.
Keep going here.
Horrible looking kick forward. Sun in the eyes of all players. Stanley was there. Knocked to Jones. Got one dribbling. It's got the bend about it, hasn't it? It's a goal. Gilbert to Fisher. Fisher a 25-metre handball to Snyder. Snyder thought about McAvoy, but liked the run of Gilbert. Hoists the ball high from 50, and 3 in a row for the Saints. Here comes Pavlich. Here's the ball. Farron Ray stands in the hole. Pavlich couldn't get it done. Brilliant play by Farron Ray. Nervous kick to make, though, if you're a St Kilda player, isn't it, to try and find someone. And that's the bit of the bailout kick, but Snyder's done well with the body on Shammer. Haven't kicked a goal since the 14-minute mark of the third. St Kilda kicked it. Snyder comes in as easy as you like.
St Kilda going into the break on the back of a 4th straight win, with Milne, the game-high goal scorer, Goddard adding the 3 Brownlow votes. Memories of that 2009 grand final defeat came flooding back on a miserable Friday night at the G when St Kilda bumped into Geelong in one of the most highly anticipated matches of the season. Adam Schneider booted the Saints' first 3 goals of the game.
Ablett has to try and fetch it against fierce opposition. Peak, Montagna looked up, kicks to full forward. Kaczynski, Schneider's kicked 2, Schneider's kicked 3, and puts the Saints in front. Saints that were winning the clearances in the opening term, they get an important one there. Taylor took a chance, building forward. Schneider sits and waits. Handball now. Del Santo's a good kick. Well, they needed it. Schneider, clever, Del Santo finishing.
The Saints held the Cats goalless in the second half on their way to a 24-point victory. Young Saint Jack Stephen was the star in just his third game, booting the first 3 goals of the third quarter, but he was far from their only contributor.
He rode the McWalter tackle, kick coming back, they couldn't quite get it out. Down low, Blake, well done. Ling comes off Taylor Hunt, held on to, no free. Blake, McWalter to Stephen, he's kicked 2, Jack Stephen. He's kicked 3.
As expected, it was a tight and low-scoring final term. The crowd of more than 58,000 waited for the Cats to burst back into action. The charge never came. It was the first time Geelong had failed to score a goal in the second half since 2001.
To Milne, he knew he'd come back inside. This is an important kick. He needs to goal. It's bouncing through.
St Kilda's big guns fired. Hayes, Del Santo, Montagna, all terrific. Stephen, with his 3 goals, crucial. After defeating flag favourites Geelong, the Saints started the round 14 match against Melbourne in ferocious fashion, kicking 3 goals in the first 12 minutes.
Well, the other
as he gets more experience, I'm sure he'll take the mark.
Sometimes you're not quite sure how far that defender is behind you. Here's Milne, a little snap out of nothing, and the Melbourne players are saying they wanted a touch, but it's a goal.
It's an ugly kick, that one. Stinker.
Patterson will win a free in the end. He very lucky to do so. Montagna just walks inside 50 and rams it home. Stanley's led too early in my book. He came before Gardner had even turned. Stevens now, a ball to Fisher, he marks, sees that he's able to play on, waltzes inside 50 and sticks that one home as well. Farron Ray's going to the top of the square. Stanley sets himself. Spencer went up, couldn't control it. Off hands, Hayes.
Lee Montagna was instrumental in the midfield, collecting 35 possessions and kicking 2 goals. Brendan Goddard, who started the game forward with the Saints, made his presence felt with 31 disposals.
Well, he could have been the hero, unfortunately was the villain on the day, but he's been really mature in his approach to his career with the Saints.
St Kilda recording its 6th consecutive win, 35 points. Milne kicking 3, Montagna, Gilbert, Jones the best.
So Nick Revolt, amongst some cheers and some jeers, is out on the ground.
Nick Revolt got through his comeback match unscathed as the Saints shrugged off a brave Brisbane Lions to win by 14 points at the Gabba in round 15. But it would be hard work as Brisbane led at half-time.
Couldn't get there again. Brennan did well to spoil. Now Hayes to Passon again. Revolt underneath it. Back of the packs, Montagna should kick the goal.
It's a matter of time, you'd think, before St Kilda win the footy. They do. Montagna goes forward. Oh, Merritt made a meal of it. He's got no outlet. Del Santo sweeping on it and putting it through.
Playing his first game since tearing that hamstring against Collingwood in round 3, Revolt started on the bench but eventually played 77 minutes and finished with 1 goal for.
4 behinds. Nick Revolt, he is back.
Smashed forward by Milne. Here's Brennan. Got dacked. Picked up by Schneider. Schneider has nailed it. And another slip at the crucial moment. Comes back. Jones pops one over the top. McAvoy and the big ruckman kicks the goal, and that's the sealer.
Lee Montagna, Lenny Hayes and Nick Del Santo all covered for the late withdrawal of Brendan Goddard as the Saints kept second spot on the ladder with another hard-fought win. For the second of 4 times in 2010, St Kilda would meet Collingwood. This time in front of 81,000 at the MCG, the biggest crowd ever to watch them play in a home and away match. It wouldn't be St Kilda's best performance, down at quarter time and then by 26 points at half time. Catch-up football was the order of the afternoon. Despite a fine long-range goal from St Kilda captain Nick Riewoldt on the half-time siren, any hopes of a revival were dashed early as the Pies kicked the first 3 goals of the third quarter.
Kicks across the face. Patterson can get there and take the mark. That's a mark.
And Didak's playing more as a midfielder.
Handballs into Milne, who kicks the goal, but had a shot from there.
Gee, nice little toe poke from Dane Beams. Tuvey, Reid, backing into the pack, but taken by Beams to Lockyer. Now O'Brien. Handball. Oh, gee, went astray. Picked up by Stephen. Has already kicked a goal in this quarter, and he kicks his second.
Sam Fisher was a shining light for the Saints, playing a loose man role across half-back, finishing the match with 33 possessions, including 18 marks. Lee Montagna battled hard for his 34 disposals. He was sensational. One of the great games of 2010, St Kilda and Hawthorn in a match that had everything but a winner.
25 metres out. Now he's made a mistake. Can he make amends? Yes, he can. And just an observer there. Now a real opportunity for Fisher. Runs to the 50. Long kick to the square. Kaczynski again. And he comes. Gets the goal. He's on Mark Lacroix pace. Goes across in turn to Del Santo. Finds Young. Now they're running the Saints. This is Gwilt. Probing kick inside the forward 50. Well, we've seen it coming. Third game since missing 11 from round 3, and I think it's fair to say St Nick is back. No margin for error initially, went short of the Ray. Now he finds Jones freed up, kicks inside the forward 50, behind the pack, a chance for Milne, loves that situation.
Held his ground pretty well, then Peake barges through, clever handball to the running Graham, and then Graham inside to Schneider, who goes for a second and drills it home.
For the Saints, Adam Schneider stepped up as a potential game breaker to kick 3 in the third term. Stephen Milne was quiet for much of the night, but he got dangerous when it counted, booting 2 quick goals midway through the final quarter to swing the momentum the Saints' way.
Graham is a long kick, but Gardner thinks he can do the trip. Down towards full forward. Off hands, falls in front. Schneider, Milne!
Justin Kaczynski looked to have taken a mark that was adjudged touched, and he was wrapped up by several Hawthorn defenders.
Unbelievable!
The ball was bounced, Ben McAvoy grabbed it and tied the score with 10 seconds to go. St Kilda and Hawthorn notching up the second draw of the season, the Saints 14-3, 87, the Hawthorns 13-9, 87. Facing a 7-goal first quarter onslaught, St Kilda always had its back to the wall when it met Essendon, and for the second time in 2010, the Bombers would prevail.
Carrying a calf from last week, he's in trouble. Meantime, Riewoldt adds to the problem, slots the goal.
That's one of his worst, you'd think. Stanton down low, Stephen over the top. Ball comes out, Riewoldt hooks it back. It's a goal, I think. Yep.
Essendon led by 58 points at one stage in the third term, but the Saints came into their own in the last quarter, booting 6 after kicking the last 2 of the third quarter.
For the Saints, but he's caressed it, and they get 2 goals in a minute.
Kicks inside the forward 50, Riewoldt with 2 to beat, hands to it, finds it on the deck, he's just outside the 50, here's that man again, Schneider, open goal, bounces it through.
And there's still a lot of footy left in terms of time on the clock. Look away handball was good by Fisher, and then Goddard again not wanting to kick, and Graham, well, they've broken the duck here, they've kicked a couple in a row.
Too little, too late. Montagna, Schneider and Hayes the best, a 33-point loss. Topsy-turvy form was replaced by sheer brute strength as St Kilda produced one of its outstanding performances of the season against Port Adelaide.
Gets away from Cracker. Can he kick it? She's not confident. Centering kick. Terrible kick. She's cutting them some slack early, Danny.
I thought it was
Hayes through traffic. Yeah, it was a perfect kick.
Yeah, it was.
A 24-point quarter-time lead was built upon at each change as the power offered little in the way of resistance.
Goal here. There he is. Collect, have a couple of bounces, Stevie, soak it up, enjoy the sunshine and drill it home. Shoots it up the peak, wants to come inboard and does. Montagna, he could go for goal from there, sends it long and magnificent. That's what it's all about.
Playing mostly as a loose man in defence, Brendan Goddard marshalled the Saints' backline with great poise on his way to 34 damaging possessions, and with Sam Fisher and Sam Gilbert provided excellent support.
Dalcetto still doing as they please. Gardner, Goddard. Riewoldt short, now he goes back to the goal square. Farron Ray looks up, he might go for goal himself. Spears it inside 50 and kicks it.
A real confidence booster this week is probably just what they need.
Oh, they'll play 4 quarters today, there's no doubting that.
Graham, Dalcetto, Schneider, Milne lurking again, got it, plays on, and kicks a miracle. A Stevie Milne special. Jones hacked it forward to Milne, shrugs a tackle, pops the pass, son a problem, not for Schneider. Spears his way through bodies and nearly knocks the goal umpire out. Graham. To his own advantage, Westhoff tried to corral him, unsuccessful. Milne, kickable by his standards, screws around it and nails it for number 4. Hacked it away, Boak. Roden from Brogan, Meyer.
There's that frontal pressure again from St Kilda.
Attacking superb, and Milne's away. Riewoldt will run back to the square here. Milne, he shorts it instead. Superb play, St Kilda. For goal number 4 for Nick Riewoldt. And Milne gave it to him, he's already got 4. Riewoldt's got 4.
He's ruckman there, Rossine, having Blake playing the ruck.
Graham, inside 50 to the tools. Riewoldt couldn't get there to trap it. Hayes does, and from a stand start, delivers.
Lenny Hayes, Lee Montagna and Clinton Jones provided the midfield grunt, with Jones' effort all the more impressive when his superb negating role on Daniel Pearce was taken into account. The big bloke was back and at his best. Nick Riewoldt was the star of the show, booting 7-5 in his best performance since returning from hamstring surgery as he destroyed North Melbourne.
The tackle. It's on here. Big boy McAvoy stood up in there. Swallows got to go, picked up by Milne. Snap around the body, good ball! Out of the heavy traffic. Here's the speedster, Goddard slid it to Hayes. What a magnificent step from Lenny. Look at the kick to Riewoldt around the corner. This is perfect play from the Saints, only for the peak finish. Unbelievable stuff. And now Riewoldt comes at the kicker. It was well done. Thompson thought he was going to the goal square, covered that, and then the moment he committed him there, he came back, and that's 50.
As soon as he blocked him, he bounced off. Graham had the intelligence of the footy smarts to actually wait with a kick to see where Riewoldt was going to be.
7 goals since quarter time, the same last time they played.
It's what they've achieved so far, but they've got an opportunity to finish it with a flurry, and they've missed that opportunity today, and they've got 2 to finish.
That'll be a free kick to Cozzy, so this will be a nice little booster for Cozzy as well. Comes in, and that's pretty straight, isn't it? That's a really nice kick. That'll do his mind a world of good.
A 52-point win, Riewoldt outstanding, Graham terrific, St Kilda looking polished as September loomed. St Kilda was looking to make it lucky 13, a 13th straight win over Richmond stretching back to 2003. The Saints got off to a slow start before finding their rhythm.
But he's a champion.
Geary, still a chance here. This is Armitage, loads up.
Justin Kazitsky with 5 goals produced one of his best games of the season. Nick Del Santo, Brendan Goddard and Lee Montagna starred. The highlight, Goddard, one of the finest marks of the season.
Who goes long? Goddard! What a magnificent mark that was! Hit the pack at full tilt, towered over the top of it, and has taken one of the best of the year. That was classical. Del Santo for Kajitsky again. Well done, Gordis, who's done good things, but Milne's dangerous here. He gives it away, and Montagna adds to his stats.
Who will go back and line up to kick the first in the third for St Kilda. In fact, he's going to give it off, and it's Del Santo goes short in the pocket. Loose players everywhere. Adam Patterson, 18 games in the black and yellow last year. Here he is, first game against his old side and his first goal for St Kilda.
The Saints' class shone through during the second half, although it took until the early stages of the last quarter for them to finally break clear.
In the meantime, his cousin steals it, goes long. Kazitsky, will he play on? No. He did 48 goals last year. Here he is for his fifth, and he's found some confidence. Patterson, Goddard, getting around Tuck, and then the left snap is all class, and the Saints are starting to flex their muscles. Big collision, bodies on the line, and it spills clear to the Saints captain, and there's no one inside 50. Sprinting now is Milne. He marks in front of Deledio. So Milne yet to kick a goal this afternoon, but he joins the party.
Cozzy 5, Revolt 3, Montagna picking up the Brownlow votes. An ugly and unattractive game of football greeted the 38,000 at Amy Stadium in the last home and away match of the season. Only a point in it, Adelaide was looking for a big scalp to end its season. St Kilda already assured of the double chance.
You'd back him almost to find someone from here. Gardner. There it is, touch, play on, he decides to go himself, Gardner, and he bangs it through. Ships through the middle, misses his target. Gilbert. And they still have it here.
They're out here.
Yep. Dempster runs inside 50, decides he'll go for goal.
He's got it.
And kick it.
Got to bring him back on this other side. He's got two players.
Well, he's got to head in the Kajitsky direction.
You've got to push.
Got to push.
Yeah, you got to push.
And he's going to have a shot at goal. Man trying to put Kajitsky off. They did it successfully last time, and he hit the woodwork. Oh, he nails that. And he gets the Saints back to within 2 points.
At least he's going to go to Revolt in a one-out contest.
And he's got it.
And that's all he wants, a little bit more of that. He'll back himself against Davis, as good as Davis has been, as long as he can get one out.
The hard gut running by Peake to 50-metre line, to the top of the square.
There we go.
And it's a chance for Geary at ground level, and that's a goal the Saints needed.
And that's the way the game played out. The Saints kicking only 5 goals, Hayes, Del Santo and Goddard the standouts. The grand finalists of 2009 would meet in the opening qualifying final in 2010. St Kilda and Geelong in front of 63,000 on a wintry Friday night at the G.
Played them on 6 occasions now. Milne getting through the centre to Goddard. Normally a beautiful kick, and he goes with a long bomb to Revolt. That was a magnificent kick. Right, listen there. That's big, isn't it? Corey did well just to hold him now. Milne goes to Revolt. He has kicked a goal, but that was running into an open goal. And, yep, he's kicked 2.
Milne would kick 3 to set St Kilda alight.
Stretch, goes long and high. Milne's the target. Brilliant, Stevie. He's kicked 3. He's kicked a hat-trick at the MCG.
Socket only as far as Schneider. Schneider goes inside the forward 50, barely. And the mark is taken by McWalter. Gives it across to Goddard. He can kick it a long way. Goddard lines up and splits the middle.
A lot of space in St Kilda's forward 50. If they can get the next position, then they're in with space.
So he kicks inside that 50. Otten's back. Well done, Gardner. Montagna's been very, very good. Can kick a goal. He does. They might be home. Silva under pressure. Goddard, Del Santo. Normally a brilliant kick. Gives Revolt every opportunity.
Fantastic.
Oh, this is one hell of a game. The last time he ran in and kicked the goal. This is his 6th shot on goal tonight, Revolt. He's now kicked 3. And the Saints sneak away again.
Milne's got it, just on the ground is...
The Saints led by 33 points in the third quarter before the Cats hit back. The last quarter would be played out in miserable conditions, goals at a premium. And just when it looked like the Saints had won, there would be a final twist.
Dawson, Mooney, Gwilt, and now Ling. Oh, horrible.
Now back here, holding the man for the St Kilda.
What a great game of footy. What a result. The favourites have been beaten.
Mooney penalised, St Kilda home by 4 points. Milne and Riewoldt with 3 goals each. Hayes, the beating heart of this St Kilda side, again showing his great class. The final obstacle on the path to a second successive grand final would be the Western Bulldogs, just as it had been a year earlier. Again, St Kilda started slowly. Again, it had to peg back its opponents.
Not good. Fisher dropping the mark. Brought it down in front of himself. Collected and gives to Milne. 4 preliminary finals and kicked only 2 goals. He starts to set things right with the Saints first. And Boyd. And that's a bad hand pass. Letting in Schneider. No one between him and the goal. He can go all the way. Williams trying to close. He can't get there. And Schneider kicks it for the Saints.
A highlight on half-time, Ben McAvoy from long range.
Do something here. Can he run? Can he take on the opportunity? Slicing through centre half forward. An eternity to think about it. He thought positive thoughts. And he lands the goal. The way they like to set up. And that's a fortuitous kick, which is marked by Goddard. They look like they're full of purpose now, the Saints. Sharp kick from Goddard. Hits Riewoldt on the lead.
This kick has to go through for the captain's confidence.
He hasn't been able to kick one tonight. Nick Riewoldt on the runway. It's tight, but he knows it's home.
Up front, and Gardner, whose kick didn't carry home a while ago. He has Kosicki up there on his own. He's got it. And he's done it beautifully, and the Saints have skipped away. His 2 goals, a big contribution.
Well, Cozzy and Riewoldt crash into each other.
He's hurt. He is. He's knocked out, Riewoldt. He's got his arms up. And that is a really bad concussion, that is. That when you reach for the sky like that, he's going to get up and be okay.
Gilbert found something of a path. Ray heaved it on. Crucial ball to be won. And Peak, the recruit, somehow finds a way through.
The third quarter would all but decide the match. Riewoldt coming into his own.
Good kick. For Schneider with the set. Couldn't hold on. Gilby's at him. Schneider gets away. And he can run just about all the way. All the way. And drive it home for his second.
Peak. He's found a good time to hit some form. Del Santo. Riewoldt. They've upped the ante, the Saints. And the skipper delivers again. Goddard could have gone to Fisher, but went more direct because Riewoldt's hot. It's falling for them now. Gardner runs in. There's Bulldogs' hearts breaking all around the MCG. Sting well and truly gone out of this game. Gets through to Montagna. Over to Schneider. Skidamarin gets through for another one.
They've got Hayes, Del Santo, Gardner, Riewoldt and Goddard on the bench at the moment. Up to Gilby. Could they get it to Johnson? One for old time's sake. Hahn, did he step over the mark? There it is. Have a shot. It's all over. He will have a shot.
The Saints threw by 24 points. Riewoldt was best afield. He'd kick 3 along with Schneider and guide his side into back-to-back grand finals. The last time Collingwood played St Kilda in a grand final was 1966, and that day it ended with a famous 1-point win to the Saints. On this day, 100,000 were in for a classic.
He struck it well. It looks a big chance. It is a captain's goal.
St Kilda had omitted Ben McAvoy and returned tough little defender Stevie Baker to the 22. Things didn't start to plan. Down by 19 points, it took late goals in the first quarter to get the Saints back on track.
And delivers, and the Saints are back in this match in a big way.
Peeling off is Milne, kicks inside the forward 50. Kazitsky comes at it, needs to control it, does. Just keeps it in, goes back to Revolt. What about that running? Moments ago in the pack at the interchange gates. Revolt. Can he inspire his team? Yes, he can. That's the goal they needed. Back inside that defensive 50. Revolt unloads then. Kazitsky is the target. Up in front, the mark is taken by Goddard. I didn't know what was coming. I think I'm a clairvoyant. There goes the kick. And he puts it through to Goddard. Terrific.
His clearance puts the Saints forward. Oh, a beauty!
The third quarter would see the whole dynamic of the game change. 14 points down, 11 minutes left on the clock. Another St Kilda surge, led by the irrepressible Lenny Hayes.
They're in this now. He's too far out, I think. Hayes, he might be too far out, I think. Could Lenny find the distance from here? He's looking for Goddard, I think. Or Graham. Well, he's a man for a big occasion, we know that, but can he get the distance? He's pumped it hard. He's pumped it long. He's kicked the goal. Lenny Hayes.
Comes straight to Montagna. Del Santo kicks inside the forward 50. And the mark is taken by Milne.
Always been able to mark the ball in contested situations.
Milne comes in the margin. 1 point.
Schneider. Here is Hayes. Belting forward. Goddard!
What a drop. You could see the setup, but he took it.
Collingwood has never been behind in this grand final today. The Saints have never been in front until now. Goddard the target. O'Brien.
Here we go, 1-1.
Hayes belting the ball forward. Johnson quickly off the mark. Milne at best. Ball bouncing. Scores a level.
Oh, no.
What are you doing next week? Have we ever spent 2 hours at the MCG like this before?
I don't think so, Bruce.
For the third time in grand final history, scores deadlocked, and the players just lay there. An anticlimax of massive proportions.
To the wing, Jolly knocked away by Blake.
There it is.
Thrown in. I think we've got a draw, ladies and gentlemen.
One last clearance, one last chance. Can somebody get a clear ball here and kick it long and hard? Goddard, the tap. Del Santo. It's going to be a draw. It's unbelievable. But it's happened.
The Norm Smith medal would be awarded. It was a two-horse race. Brendan Goddard picking up 7 votes. The winner, who else? Lenny Hayes grabbing 14. And so it was on again. Collingwood and St Kilda in just the third grand final replay in 114 seasons. With nearly 100,000 people returning to the MCG for the first grand final replay since Australian rules went national, St Kilda returned to the MCG, where they'd been unsuccessful in securing a premiership for 44 years. However, it was a black and white storm as the Magpies' ferocious defensive game shut out the Saints.
Nah, he gets it. They needed it, and the right bloke at the right time. Needs to get to Graham. Now, Graham looks up. He's got Revolt outside. Now, Nick's got to go all the way here. Cossey's held up. Now, he's going to go to Kazitsky. Does he get him? He does.
Well, that's the ultimate goal by stealth.
Probably won't get the result, but at least be seen to be doing the right thing.
Cossey's been very accurate from set shots this year, and that one, he's kicked it. Just their second goal for the afternoon.
Into the path of Montagna. Race back with Johnson. Takes a Collingwood bounce deep to the pocket. Johnson stole it away. across to Brown, back to Johnson. Johnson runs into a tackle from Eddie. Down he went, crawling after it, Peak. Too slippery there for the man closest. Eddie, it came to McWalter. Into the path of Hayes. Hayes with the outside of the boot. That's a hard-working tradesman's goal.
St Kilda kicking a wasteful 1-goal 8 in the opening half. After an enthralling battle with Nathan Brown the week before, skipper Nick Riewoldt was unable to get on top of the young Collingwood defender. The Saints were unable to find an answer for a determined Collingwood. In the end, being beaten comprehensively for that third grand final in 2 years.
Had some golden opportunities when he went forward, just 3 behinds. And I think all of those eminently kickable in the second term. Here he is, looking to make amends. Guides it and guides it well. It's through for a goal.
1 on half-time, 1 early in the third. Back to Hayes. And then Hayes to Goddard. It was brilliant early. Del Santo could kick this. He's 55 metres out. It's a vacant goal square. Does he get the bounce? He does. It's a goal.
Short to Del Santo. Has seen a lot of the football, but hasn't done much with it. Goddard went to ground. Jones kicks inside the forward 50 and Milne bobs up. Milne likes this situation to run around and pull it back across his body, and invariably it ends like that. Well done.
Just didn't do enough himself. It was a hard day for a big forward for the Saints. Big fly coming at the back from Goddard. St Kilda go forward. And at Milne, well, he's had so little of the ball today. Has he kicked a second goal in the last quarter? He has. But the 2 today don't measure up to the 2 last week.
Collingwood having their measure all day with a 56-point win.